It sounds impossible, right? Light from rust? But for certain World War II scouts, sappers, and night watch units, this wasn't myth. It was a quiet, reliable backup that kept them alive when darkness meant death. Picture this: rain hammering a broken barn roof, a soldier shivering in the corner, oil lamp empty. A single mistake with fire could expose his position, but giving up wasn't an option. So he pulls out a dented canteen cup, scrapes rust from his shovel, and drips in old ration vinegar, not to clean it, to make light. What happens next isn't a burst of brilliance, but rather a quiet, unwavering glow, steady and reliable, even in the deepest darkness. In moments like these, when every second counts and silence is crucial, even the faintest light can mean the difference between hope and despair. A faint, ember-like glow slowly spreads across the mixture, casting just enough illumination to pierce the shadows. It's not much, but it's enough to make out shapes, to see what you're doing, and to keep moving forward. The glow is barely visible unless you're right on top of it, subtle, almost secretive, but unmistakably present for those who know where to look. Yet it's just enough to see your hands, to repair vital gear, to check your equipment without giving away your position. In the field, that can be everything. It's enough to read a map in silence, to plot your next move, and to keep hope alive when the world around you is cloaked in darkness. Well, here's the secret, something that's been quietly at work for centuries, hidden in plain sight. It all starts with a simple household ingredient, one you might never expect to hold such power: vinegar. When vinegar comes into contact with rust, a fascinating transformation begins. The acetic acid in vinegar reacts with the iron oxide, which is what we call rust, and starts to break it down at a molecular level. This process isn't fast or violent. It's a slow, steady chemical reaction. You might notice tiny bubbles forming, a gentle fizzing as the acid works its magic, dissolving the rust bit by bit. There's nothing explosive or dangerous about it. Instead, it's almost peaceful, as if the metal is quietly shedding its old skin, preparing for something new. As the reaction continues, a gentle warmth is released, just enough to awaken minerals like chalk or charcoal that might be nearby, or even mixed in with the rust. These materials have a remarkable property. When they're gently heated, they can begin to glow softly in the darkness, creating an almost magical effect that's both beautiful and mysterious. You know, soldiers figured out they could actually control this glow. They could make it last longer, make it dimmer, and, importantly, make it safer. Some units even carried small tins preloaded with rust powder. So, if they found themselves stranded, they were never fully blind. A tiny pool of glowing paste became their silent companion. And here's the part modern survivalists love. You can still make this today. No tech, no electricity, just scrap metal and weak acid. Begin by grinding rust into a fine, reddish powder. This step is crucial. Take your time, making sure the rust is as fine as possible. The finer the powder, the better the reaction will be later on. Use an old file or sandpaper and collect every bit of dust you can. The transformation starts here, with patience and careful hands. Next, add just enough vinegar to the rust powder to create a thick, workable paste. Stir slowly, watching as the mixture darkens and thickens. The vinegar reacts with the rust, unlocking hidden properties. Don't rush. Let the mixture settle for a moment before moving on. Now, gently lay a layer of fine chalk or charcoal across the top of your paste. This acts as a catalyst, helping to draw out the light. Make sure the layer is even, covering the entire surface. The combination of these simple materials is what makes the magic possible. Carefully set the mixture in a small metal lid or shallow container. Place it somewhere dark and undisturbed. Now, all you have to do is wait. The reaction needs a few minutes to work, so be patient and let the anticipation build. Minutes later, you'll notice a faint, otherworldly glow emerging from the mixture. Soft, steady, and almost alive. It's a quiet transformation, a reminder that even the most ordinary materials can hold extraordinary secrets when combined with care and curiosity. It's not bright enough to light a room, but it's bright enough to keep you going. And in war, that was everything. So, think about disaster zones today. power out. No batteries anywhere. Modern gear, all soaked and pretty much useless. But that rusty tool in the corner? It's not trash, folks. It's potential, plain and simple. This trick wasn't born in a lab, nope. It came from soldiers who just refused to surrender to darkness. From improvisation, right under pressure. From the belief that even the smallest light, well, it mattered. And here's the part most people just don't know. This wasn't their only so-called impossible field-made light source. There was another wartime glow trick, one even stranger, and honestly, far more dangerous. If you want the story behind that method, the one commanders really tried to keep quiet, stick with survival stories. Because the next episode, well, it reveals the glow soldiers feared almost as much as the dark.